How the Thunder rolled the T-Wolves last night. But what about those mixtapes fans are putting together of the embellishments from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Is that MVP behavior? Also, Knicks, Pacers tonight. And Tush living to be pushed. Another day with Mina Kimes, Harry Lyles Jr., Justin Tinsley, and yes, the return of Michael Smith.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Welcome home, Michael Smith. 451 career appearances, 136 career wins. People always ask me, you're a real one. Who has the highest win percentage of all time? Michael Smith does, 30.2. How about that?
Yeah,
and also
right.
the author of this moment in show history.
From your knees. Keep your back
Boston ball.
straight.
Boston ball. Give it Boston ball. Give me that. Give me that.
Every time. Every time.
20 seconds. You won a show because you danced. You have to live with
But
that.
Bomani still has not forgiven me for that.
I once
He has
muted
not
Michael so hard I thought I broke my finger. So we've got stories on stories. But Michael, you've got 10 seconds now to say anything you like.
Ooh. Maybe my favorite moment in show history was bringing, I think, my first two kids onto this show.
Yes.
Savannah's 19. She made a birthday yesterday. My daughter and my money go to University of Michigan. Go Blue.
Okay.
Mason is killing it. He's 17, and Maya is on her way to Broadway. She'll be 13 in July. I'm old, Tony. I'm
I
old.
know, man. I was going to mute
the
you,
oldest
but
person on the show.
I'm not muting Maya, brother. I'm not muting the kids. All right. One more thing here to celebrate. Our people getting hardware. Mina Kimes and the NFL Live crew, a well-deserved Emmy. We get the bonus for that. And another of our own. Look at this picture. Jen Latta. 3 Emmys.
Wow.
Huzzah! Big points
Wow.
on her next show.
Look at that.
But let's go to a first word. Thunder 114, Timberwolves 88. There was a moment right before half when it looked like Minnesota would go in with an 8-point lead. No. OKC turned it then. They found that next year that they've shown us all year long, and it was a blowout by the end. I want to get your take on this. It's becoming a thing, the story inside the game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the whistles he gets and mixtapes NBA fans are making of his winces and falls on contact and minimal contact. Last night, SGA, 14 free throws on 13 fouls called. So address that too, whether he's a free throw merchant and embellishing or whether you think it's smart ball. And then Anthony Edwards in defeat, quote, we'll figure it out, end quote. For the story of game one, around the horn, Harry Lyles Jr.
Yeah, I think Anthony Edwards is correct that they can figure it out because there are things that they clearly can fix. One is the turnovers. This Oklahoma City team thrives off of their turnovers. They had 31 points off of them in game one. A lot of their offense is generally generated by the energy that they've got defensively. The other thing, Ant needs to be a little bit more aggressive at the basket. He only took 13 shots. Dante DiVincenzo took the most shots on the Timberwolves. You cannot do that in the Western Conference Finals. And he's also got to take more shots at the basket. I understand Oklahoma City is crowding it, but having one basket at the cup, one attempt, is unacceptable. So, yes, there are things here that they can fix. I still lean Oklahoma.
Right. Well, I wanted to say, that was a lot of Minnesota from your view of this game last night. Mina Kimes, I'm going to ask you what you learned last night.
The story of the game was the Thunder's defense. This was the best defensive team in the regular season. They've been even better statistically in the postseason, and they were absolutely magnificent. In the first half, SGA and Jalen Williams were 4 for 21. They were only down 4 points, the Thunder, explicitly because of defense. In fact, 18 of those 44 points came off of turnovers. I do think they can keep that rate up because it's something that they have been doing so consistently, Harry. That said, this is not over because the Wolves had a ton of open threes, in part due to the Thunder's strategy of packing the paint, and they just missed them. This is a good three-point shooting team. I don't think they're going to be as bad moving
Justin
forward.
Tinsley, around the horn to you.
Yeah, so I'm going to focus on Anthony Edwards' comments after the game. He said that he will have a counter for this. But what happens when OKC has a counter for Anthony Edwards' counter? Because we know they will. You know, everybody's been focusing on these turnovers, and as they should. OKC only had 44 points at halftime. Nearly half of those came off turnovers. And when you look at this Timberwolves team, that has been their Achilles heel all postseason. They're averaging 15 turnovers a game. So I'm not necessarily worried about the threes. Those will fall. But if they can't protect the basketball, you can cancel Christmas. And look, this is my last show, so I'm hitting the panic button now.
Whoa, we're not
If they don't
canceling
win
Christmas.
game 2,
Let's keep Christmas where it is for the most part. But I hear what you're saying, but I'm now going to turn attention to Michael Smith. I'm ready for this flaming hot take from Smith. Please, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, hopefully I can live up to that introduction. Listen, I wish I'd have had more Ant-Man. Shout out to Paul Rudd in the fight scene at the end of Avengers Endgame. Likewise, I saw too little Ant-Man last night. Harry, you're spot on. 13 shots. If you're going to go out against the best team in basketball, go out with your big gun firing. Not the rest of these dudes going 15 out of 50 from three-point land. I mean, so listen, something can be simple and easier said than done at the same time. Anthony Edwards simplifying it by saying, hey, we'll figure it out. Yeah, it sounds simple in theory, but Oklahoma City's defense is going to certainly have a lot to say about that. But you got to take more than 13 shots. Don't play into their hands by allowing them to take the ball out of his hands. He's got to get more aggressive. He's got to get into the paint some way, somehow, and live with the results.
I hear what you're saying there. I'm hearing about defense and turnovers and more shots needed for Edwards. What about foul discrepancy or the way SGA plays the whistle, Harry Lyles? I brought it up before. Nobody took the bait, but now I'm going to ask you directly, Harry.
Yeah, look, I saw a lot of people seemingly discovering this for the first time last night. You called it a mixtape. If this was part of his discography, last night was not even his Thriller, okay? Like, he has done so much worse than he did last night. So, look, I understand that people don't love watching that. I don't think he's quite James Harden in his prime in terms of doing that style of basketball. But this is nothing.
Mike
That's not to say
Smith,
that
you
can't
want to
be
answer
upset
that,
about it,
please?
But
I mean, I don't understand what the problem is. Don't knock the hustle. Like, you know all about buying and selling. You can sell it all you want. The officials have to buy it. And if you can't buy a bucket, then find your way to the free throw line and get points
There
that
are
way.
some
Props
making
to
the
him.
argument tonight
honestly.
they're going to announce the MVP. Is this behavior becoming of an MVP, Justin Tinsley?
I mean, shoot, we just mentioned Harden. He won an MVP doing it, so why can't SGA do it?
About that vote tonight, who you got? Everybody, SGA? Anyone willing to go Jokic? Mina Kimes, first to you.
I'm going to side with our new colleague, Mike Malone, who after the game said SGA is the MVP. That was it.
Harry Lyles Jr.
I'm sticking with SGA.
Justin Tinsley.
These votes were counted weeks ago. I'm actually going Joker.
Michael Smith.
SGA ellipses, Joker's still the best player in the world. But SGA will be MVP this year.
We'll move on. Now to tonight. Knicks, Pacers. Man, this city is abuzz. The anticipation on 7th Avenue is killing me, and I hope it'll last. An Eastern Conference Finals rematch of a great series last year where Indy went into the Garden and waxed the Knicks in a Game 7. So how that experience affects it all in motivation and pressure between the two teams. And the heater this postseason that both Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson are on. So I got questions. You guys got answers. Who would you rather have in this series, Halliburton or Brunson? Who are you favoring in this series, Pacers or Knicks? And the number one thing that will decide this series, around the horn, Mike Smith.
All right, I'll go with the last question. I'll leave the pace and Indiana's depth and New York's rebounding. I'll leave all that stuff to the rest of my smarter colleagues here. I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to say that Halliburton and Brunson, they got to be like Mitch and Ace going into the top. Let's go be stars in this joint. They got to be stars. And it's going to come down to those two guys in clutch time, okay? That's it. The other 42, 43 minutes of the game will lead up to 5 minutes of those two guys going back and forth. We're going to see a duel of the Iron Mike between those two dudes, and I'm taking Jalen Brunson in that situation.
Okay, so whatever happens in the game, it's going to be decided by
7-game series.
I hear you, Brunson versus Halliburton. All right, we hear you. We're cool. Justin Tinsley, I needed to mute you one more time without breaking my finger. Justin Tinsley, around the horn to you.
Look, I understand the star matchup at point guard. I get that. But to me, I'm going Knicks in 7, and a big reason why is Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. If you watch what they've done defensively all postseason, it's been amazing. They look like two great safeties out there. And look, here's the thing about Mikal Bridges. The Knicks are 25-4 when he scores more than 20 points. They're 4-0 this postseason. If he scores more than 20 points in this series, that's a huge advantage for the Knicks. And he's their best defender on Tyrese Halliburton. And if the Knicks want to win this series, they have to slow the game down because Indy wants to get out and run. And a big reason why for that will be OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges.
Harry Lyles Jr., number one thing you're watching for in this series that will dictate where the advantage goes.
I think it's with the Pacers' depth. Justin mentioned that they want to run. This is a team that had 7 players average double-figure scoring. I think that is going to be a huge difference because you see more consistency from their non-stars and Aaron Nesmith and Ben Mathurin. I still do think, though, for as much as just an incredible run that we've seen Jalen Brunson go on and how much of a hero he is now for the Knicks, you know who also has a massive chip on their shoulder? Tyrese Halliburton, and he has continued to come through. That Milwaukee series was chippy, too. We talk about the Knicks being chippy. The Pacers are chippy, too, now.
Yeah,
I think that they're going to win this series in 6.
And you're putting all your chips into the center of the table on that. And Mina Kimes around the horn to you.
Jalen Brunson is the best player in this series. The Pacers are the better, deeper team, and that's why they're going to win. We've been talking all postseason about these great fourth-quarter performances. They're not fluky. They're happening in large part because this team doesn't grind their starters into dust the way the Knicks do. Harry alluded to this.
Whoa. Is that fair, though? Have the Knicks shown an ability to close out games in this postseason, Mina?
They will in this game. That's what I'm talking about. This is the series where I think that contrast and depth becomes the difference in clutch time. It is a big reason why the Pacers have been so good in the fourth quarter. And it also, by the way, they play so fast. I think that's going to be a problem for the Knicks. They're going to have tired legs.
I'm in a time machine right now because Michael and I haven't done this show together in so long. But nobody gave listening face like Smith. Look at him right now, working the camera. What do you have on your mind, Michael? What's going on? Nothing. He's got nothing on his mind.
I got nothing.
You know what?
I got nothing.
I'm seeing that hoodie. Pop that hoodie for us. You are the hero we need and the hero we deserve right now. There it is. All right, Michael Smith's back. We're back with Buy or Sell next.
Pier 17.
The tush push, not banned. Again, how many proposals and will be shut down? Another one. Final vote today was 22 for banning it, 10 for allowing it, which means it didn't get the necessary threshold. And Philly shoves it in everyone's face, as they do with such a high percentage of success. Remember, it was the Packers who proposed this ban. Initially, as ESPN research impresario Evan Kaplan noted, the playoff game this year was a final score 22-10, Philly over the Packers. I think that's amazing. The report from Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk and NBC, citing a league source that the league asked the Packers to make this proposal, and the Packers took one for the team. Very, very juicy. What do you buy? What do you sell from all of it, Mina?
I'm buying this decision, and I'm selling the fact that there are NFL teams trying to outlaw this instead of trying to do it themselves. That's what frustrates me about this. The only team that's attempted even a close number of tush pushes to Philadelphia is Buffalo, who converted at a higher rate than Philadelphia. Now, you might say, well, they have a fellow gigantic human at quarterback, but teams like the Ravens use their tight ends, and it works. I do not understand why more teams don't try to compete. This is a skill issue, not a safety.
I'm pretty sure that has ever lived, at least his lower half. And the other thing is, too, like, even with the Buffalo Bills, like, the play didn't work the one time they actually needed it this season. So for the rest of these teams, like, I would love to know who are the 9 outside of the Eagles that said, hey, no, we're going to keep this going, because you actually live up to the thing that so many people who watch and participate in football try to live by, which is masculinity. And to try to get off of this is soft.
That's our chief weight room correspondent, Harry Lyles Jr. Justin Tinsley, around the horn to you.
Tony, there were well over 35,500 plays ran last season. The tush push accounted for 101. We're talking about something that happens 0.28% of the time when you're watching football. As Mina said, as Harry said, as I'm sure Michael will say, if you want to stop it, stop it. You don't have to ban the play.
I hear what you're saying. We've had this conversation numerous times. Michael, you can address that, but also this report that the league asked the Packers to do it. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And I appreciate the Eagles pettiness posting and a picture of them doing it against the Packers. No, actually, Justin, that's not what I'm going to say. I hate this play. I can't stand this.
There we go.
Whether it's the Eagles running it, whether it's the Bills running it, I hate. Oh my God, I hate the tush push. Like, why couldn't they ban this thing?
Smith.
But I will say this. I'm glad they didn't ban it because the tweaked language would have prohibited pushing any runner at any part of the field. And I do like it when it's like in the open field and the linemen come and push I do like that. So for that reason, I'll live with this godforsaken.
Tinsley, you called him Old Man Smith.
If I want to watch rugby, I watch rugby.
the oldest play in the game, basically, the QB sneak. I don't know if it lines up
That's not the QB
way.
sneak. That is not a QB sneak. That is not a QB sneak. Bart Starr.
What is it then?
That is not a QB sneak. It's a
is
rugby
a QB
play is what
sneak.
it is. It is not a part
It's
of
a
football.
QB
It
sneak.
is not NFL
Okay,
football.
not a part of
There's nothing
football.
sneaky about it. There's nothing sneaky about it. Everybody knows what's happening.
You're right,
When
'cause nobody can
with
stop
21
it.
people stand behind the quarterback and push him. There's nothing sneaky about it. There's no element of surprise. That play is terrible.
Well, guess what?
Sorry,
it ain't
I'm
going
sorry.
nowhere.
We got more show to do. I'm sorry.
Outside of that, how do you like the
know.
rest of the play, Michael
know.
Smith? Wow, you
I'm
know
sorry.
what? We might
It's
go
been a
into
while. It's been
PTI
a while.
time.
It's been a while. I'm
here
sorry.
for this.
It's been a while. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We're going to move on to hockey now. Panthers 5, Hurricanes 2. A Game 1 road win for the champs on just about zero rest. Carolina was unbeatable at home until they weren't. And now the champs versus the field. Who knows? I mean, Justin, how scary a win was this for Florida? How seriously are you taking them to repeat now?
That win was scarier than my Nanit app going off at 3 in the morning because I know it's nothing good for me on the other side of that alert. No, Carolina, they won 31 games during the regular season at home. Florida deaded that in one game. Their power play is phenomenal. I'm taking them versus the field. Check this, Tony. This postseason, they're 6-2 on the road with a plus 20 goal differential. Nothing scares them. Nothing scares them.
All right, so you had, I don't know that phrase you came up with the Nana and everything. Michael, you might say you're like a furry cat in a room full of rocking chairs right now with a long tail. Didn't you say that? Yeah.
That's what the Hurricanes are feeling. Jesse, you'll appreciate this. The Panthers came through Carolina like Snoop coming through New York, crushing the buildings. That's what they did last night. I mean, Carolina wasn't losing at home. They weren't giving up goals at home. They weren't giving up power plays at home. And here we go. Like Florida, not to be trifled with.
Mina Kimes.
Florida and everybody else.
I love that this is my last one because we can make bold proclamations and no one's going to hold us accountable. The Panthers are repeating. And for a litany of reasons. Justin alluded to this. They've been excellent on the road. They have the best keeper in hockey. Bobrovsky had 31 saves. He's only allowed 5 goals in the last 6 games, I believe, or 6 in the last 5, pardon me. And they're getting contributions from a multitude of players, different lines. This is the deepest, best team.
Harry Lyles Jr.
Yeah, the Panthers have turned the corner. Look, this was a feel-out game that Paul Maurice said, and they still dominated this team. This was the first time the Canes had allowed 4 more goals this postseason, and their first postseason loss at home this year. They were outscoring teams 21-8. So yes, I think the fact that the Panthers didn't feel that they even played their best yet in this particular series, I think they're right back on track.
Well, they weren't really off track, but I hear what you're saying. We're going to stay on track. Nobody needs to dance to get their way into Showdown, although I wouldn't stop you if you were dancing right now. Everybody's advancing to Showdown for one final
That
phase.
was a great.
Kimes, Lyles,
it,
Tinsley,
Brandon
Smith,
Spikes?
stick around.
It's Brandon Spikes, right?
Yeah, it was Brandon Spikes. And he was Boston Ball, baby.
Points.
Even though, FaceTime is one of my favorite parts of the show because we were FaceTime before FaceTime. No offense, iPhones, but that's what we were called. And it's a chance to talk about whatever you like. I never mute a FaceTime. And you don't have to just talk about the show and say nice things. It could be, any shopping cart debate we've had before. We've had serious ones and we've had fun ones. First, the Harry Lyles FaceTime, please.
Tony, I have wanted to do this show since I was 9 years old. I just wanted to thank my mom, dad, sister, brother Josh. Thank you for that phone call in 2019. My Uncle Carl and Aunt Edith, I'm going to miss your text messages after the show. The rest of my friends and family in Evansville, Indiana, I love you guys. Whitney Medworth, Jessica Smetana, Alex Kirshner, Matt Gilbert, Ferruccio Jaquan, Tababi, Marissa Tayo, I love you guys. My therapist, if you are struggling with mental health, please keep fighting. I am rooting for you. Aaron Solomon and Eric Rydholm, thank you guys for giving me a chance. Tony, thank you for your friendship and support, especially in times when I could not speak for myself. I am forever indebted to this show and you guys, and I promise you, I will continue to pay it forward.
Mina Kimes, FaceTime.
That was beautiful, Harry. I just want to say something about Tony Reali. Everybody always talks about how kind Tony is and how he cares about things bigger than sports. I want to say something else. Tony is the biggest ball knower I have ever met. His ability to talk about literally every sport, whether it's women's basketball, hockey, baseball, or the sport I cover, football, is unparalleled and a testament to both his work and his passion and intelligence. Tony, I just want people to recognize that when they talk about you. Also, the Mariners are winning the World Series this year.
Michael Smith, FaceTime.
Mahalia Jackson saying that if I could help somebody as I travel along, then my living will not be in vain. This show has helped a lot of people. Harry spoke to it a second ago. You guys are an institution. You showed up for people every day at 5 o'clock Eastern. People could count on you. You brighten days. People that you never met, that maybe never got a chance to reach out and express themselves, but I know I speak for them. And I know that this show literally changed the course of my career and therefore changed my life. And this show and this staff and this group has always shown up for me. It was there for me at the most difficult point in my career. You insisted, Tony, that I sit in your chair. And so this show, you know, it will never be forgotten. You guys have a lot to be proud of, and I'm grateful for just being a part of this family.
Justin Tinsley, FaceTime.
Over the last 4 years that I've been on this show, I've been blessed to accomplish a lot of great things, books, podcasts, but most importantly, my beautiful wife, Jade, and my 2 beautiful kids, Huey and Veda. Also going through some tough times with my mother and my grandmother passing away this year, but each step of the way, this show has been there with me. I thank you so much for what you've done for me, not just professionally, but personally as well. And some people may feel that this show lost its way, but I can tell you one thing, this show helped me find mine. And this show helped so many other people find their own way. God bless Around the Horn. God bless anybody and everybody who's ever watched this show and supported this show. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a lot, guys. You know how I feel about you. I just wanted to say, we have Frank Isola, Michelle Steele, Ramona Shelburne. This is our family. Help me with the paper toss, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh! That was the softball.